Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. Today I'm going to work on one of Roxy Creations' weekly challenges. This is number 5, I believe. Making collaged stamped skinny tags. That's the goal. So I am just going to head right into it. So I've chosen out just a few different book pages. You can use anything as a base. Rachel used book pages, but you don't have to. You could use whatever paper you've got, whether it's, I don't know, used photocopy paper that's been printed on, junk mail, whatever you like, you can use. It just so happens that I have lots of book pages to use, so I am going to use book pages, and I love using them. So I'm just going to start collaging up. I don't know how much I'm going to get done, if I'm being completely honest, because it usually takes me a while, but we'll see how we get on. So I'm just grabbing out random bits I've pulled out of my bag, scraps, and just looking to lay different textures of text and like music and stuff like that, and different colors as well. So, and no direction. It can go upside down, back to front, sideways. I do not care either way. I think it's all good if it goes either way. And I don't know when they're cut up which way they'll end up, so start out with not worrying about it, and then it's all good. Now that wee fragment I am going to throw away. I'm trying to practice not keeping everything, and it's hard. I love keeping everything because, you know, everything is so useful, but I'm being tough on myself. It's like I've got a lot of book pages to use. I don't need to keep every tiny little scrap. So who else is playing along with Rachel's weekly challenge? It's so fun. I'm enjoying building up my stash of ephemera. It's just super helpful, and just to be inspired, you know. Nothing so far has been particularly revolutionary, what I'd say revolutionary, but it doesn't need to be. You know, sometimes it's the basics that we forget, that, oh yeah, why don't I do that? I haven't done that forever. Because we do get caught by the revolutionary, the new, the, you know, the sparkly shiny, as you would say, in the junk journal world. And so we forget sometimes about the basics. And the basics really, when it comes down to it, are what holds our journals together. They really, oops, I should have cleaned my scissors. They're sticky from cutting through tape. So let me take a moment to do that, otherwise this video is going to be a nightmare. So I've just got a wet wipe and a bit of elbow grease. Just cleaning off, I don't know if you can see, I've got it resting on the edge of my desk. Cleaning off that sticky glue residue, which makes my scissors not work so well. So sorry, I should have done this before I turned on the camera, but I didn't think about it. I was just like, right, get onto my video, get it done, but wasn't really prepared, I guess, as much as I thought I was. But never mind, you get that in the big jobs and in the little ones. So how's everyone today? You all good? All well and having fun, or being productive, or something, you know, something for the day. Right, this is very thin paper that I've got, so I'm gonna get rid of my gluey bit so it doesn't tear on me. So these bits I'm working from are just from a variety of different books. Oops, and I ended up gluing the wrong side of it, so let's just stick it upside down. Not a problem. Cool. yeah, so there's foreign text, there's vintage paper, there's everything and anything, literally. I'll just give that a bit of a straight edge for the edge of my book page. And because I'm using up scraps, it is a bit bitsy, which I actually personally like, the bitsy style. But if you want it to go quicker, then use bigger pieces. So we'll see how we get on doing this bitsy bits. Yeah, so I've come back from holiday, and because I was basically 2 weeks, like we were only away for a week, but the first week my husband was home, so I wasn't operating my normal kind of schedule. I have fallen a bit behind in the challenge, which is fine. I'm not worried about it at all. It's just that, yeah, I'm a bit behind where others might be up to with this particular challenge. Maybe I'll just shove it in the middle there. If in doubt, just shove it in the middle. About there. Let's look for a different colour or something different. Here's a bit of pattern paper. That could be a bit of fun. Pop that up there somewhere. Which side do I want? I think that side's a bit more interesting, isn't it? So I'm going to rough up that edge and make this edge straight. Or straightish. So I feel like I'm in a rush actually. I'm filming this in the afternoon. I normally film in the mornings. So maybe that's got something to do with it, or maybe it's that I've been in a bit of a rush this afternoon. I had to go out and have a blood test, which I haven't had done for probably a year. Since my last one. I have to have it done annually to check my thyroid and stuff. And in previous years, they've really had to hunt for a vein and really struggled, and sometimes had to grab a different nurse to see if they could get it. So my veins have played a bit of hide and seek over the years. Well, today it was like popping out. It was really obvious. She just went straight in, drew the blood, and I was out within a couple of minutes actually. Like it was super quick and pretty painless. You know, there was a bit of a prick when she put the needle in, but it, you know, it was nothing. And so it's kind of like I've been rushed to get ready to go down to the doctor's, you know, get down there, and then I'm in the waiting room for, I don't know, a couple of minutes at the most before I got called, and then I was in there, sat down, popped the vein, drew the blood, and away I went. And it's like boom, 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 and I've still got this sense of rush in me. I think that might be why I feel like I'm rushing. So if I feel like I'm rushing to you, please excuse it. Some days are like that, aren't they? Just one thing after the other. Which is quite contrast to this morning, where I felt really relaxed and laid back and just sort of took things in my stride, and it was all good. And then this afternoon it's been rush. But that's good. I'm glad I've had the blood test now. So I'd been putting it off for a while, and I was sick sometimes, and so you can't go to the medical centre when you're sick. They don't like that in this day and age of certain viruses and things. So there were times when I could have done it but couldn't. Well, time-wise I could have done it, but I couldn't because I was sick. And then finally it's like I've got a doctor's appointment later this week. I have to go do it because they need the results before my test. So I don't know how you guys feel about blood tests, but I just like Like, it's fine. It's just like, I can't be bothered. I don't want to have to, but I do. So yeah, it's just life. It's called adulting, isn't it? Being an adult. I can't even say the word properly. My fingers are getting sticky. So one last little bit where I've got a gap, and this page is done. So I'll do a couple. I don't know if I'll do any more than that. I grabbed out heaps of book pages, so, and I will save the backs to collage off camera, I think. I don't think I really need to do those on camera. Save a bit of time there. So this is a different book page, a bit bigger. I think maybe I'll just stick that whole thing down there, get rid of that sticky page. Oops. Help if I wind my glue stick up, so I've got some glue coming out. Yeah, this is a lovely German, I believe it's German, book page. It's got a lovely creamy quality to it. So we'll just use a bigger piece, and maybe we'll choose out some bigger pieces for this one, so that I'm not taking too much of your time. This is a children's book page that has music in amongst it, or nursery rhyme book, something like that. It's actually not straight, so let's see, is that now straight? Straighter. Okay, so let's put this bit down. Oops. That'd be the thing, drop it in my lap and get it covered in cat fur. That would be so what I would do. Right, maybe we'll put this little scrap down here. So this is a good scrap busting exercise too. If your sort of scraps are getting out of control, then jump in and do a bit of collaging with me and get some of those scraps reduced down and into something usable. Because even if you just collage bases like this and then don't actually do anything else with them at this stage, then you're still ahead of the ball game. You've got a base ready to go for when you need it to turn it into whatever you like, whether it's a tag or a journal card or a tip-in or a cluster, whatever it is. But you know, we always need things like journal cards and pockets and all those good things we love to put in our journals. Make them nice and interactive. And right, okay, here's some Greek. It's quite white, but that's okay. That a bit short now, so we'll put it somewhere else. Just want to get rid of the straight edges where they're not against the edge. Maybe I'll go this way. Yep, just do that. So I suppose I should tell you something about my holiday. It was very, very nice, very relaxing. We had intended on going to the pools almost every day, which would have been 4 days, but probably realistically 3 days. But we had a little thing called Cyclone Gabriel, which did a lot of damage in the North Island. I'm in the South Island, so it didn't cause a lot of damage down here. But we certainly still had the effects of it. It was very windy, very wet, and actually quite cold for summer. So we went to the hot pools on the first day, the day that we arrived. And then the next day was the worst day weather-wise. It was just rain constantly. It never let up. It would cycle through lighter periods and then full-on heavy periods. But it just did not stop all day, and we thought, no, we're just going to stay in our accommodation and relax and do some art and chill. So I did digital art. I did a lot of that. So we both just chilled out really. And then the next day was slightly better. Still rained basically all day, but it was a bit lighter. There weren't the heavy downpours. So we did a bit of shopping. Went out and sort of went around the shops and had a look at things, and that was great. And we had intended on going to the pools, but we got back to our room, had lunch, or back to the house, had lunch, and it was like, yeah, no, we don't really feel like going out, so we'll just stay and aim to go to the pools the next day, which was Wednesday. Well, Wednesday arrived, it was still raining, and we could have gone, because it's actually quite nice sitting in the pools in the rain, but I didn't want to get sick by being in and out of the cold and the hot, so we decided it wasn't worth the risk. We'd just give it a skip, and yeah, so we didn't end up going to the pools again, which is fine. Meant we saved some money, and yeah, and we just did some more art and watched a movie, hung out, just did relaxing holiday stuff, no pressure. So it was actually really, really nice. And then we did the cleaning at the house and packed up and everything, and came home on the Friday. So yeah, there wasn't actually a lot of events that I can tell you about. It was just pretty relaxed, pretty chill, very restful, which I think we actually both needed, just rest really. So I can't say it was a bad holiday at all, because it was a really, really lovely one. Super fun, super nice, and we did still, do a couple of things. And, oh, my wonderful husband, I have to tell you this. Hang on, just wait a moment. Just weed out. Okay, so these are Posca pens that I already had, which were second hand. And my husband, my beautiful, generous husband, bought me these. And I'm so excited to have more Posca pens. I've always wanted more, and I want even more than this, but to go from 3 to now 8, plus I have a couple of whites which I bought myself, but colours, so excited. I can't wait to have a play and do some kind of mixed media-y stuff with them. It's going to be so fun. So yes, my husband was very, very generous and spoilt me rotten. And that wasn't the end of it. He also put money into my bank account for me just to spend, to have as discretionary spending. And so I bought myself a new pair of earrings, which I'm wearing at the moment. Glass earrings in this, super pretty. Took me ages to decide what color I wanted, so I went with these pink ones that are sort of slightly got a bit of yellow, but mostly pink. And so I've got those on, and they were really reasonable. They were only $10 just for a wee pair of studs, but they're so pretty. And then every time I went to buy something, he would pay for it, and he wouldn't let me pay for it. So I've still got a reasonable amount of money left, but I am going out for lunch with some extended family on Friday, so I'm keeping that money for that lunch because I need to pay for lunch. So yeah, so that's lovely. So I'm going out on Friday. I'll be out all day on Friday, and I'm out all day on Wednesday because I have my marketing course to go to. So sort of back into a busy time, busy week, things happening. And there's also a function at my husband's work on Friday night, so it's quite good that I'll be there for that. They've got a new staff member, so it's a bit of a welcome to her. I have met her because she popped in 1 week to pick up her contract. So I have met her, but only briefly, and then we were on holiday, and she started working there when my husband was away. So she doesn't really know. She wouldn't remember me, I'm sure. It would have been quite overwhelming for her to turn up after hours to, you know, the social shenanigans that we get up to on a Friday night, and be introduced to a whole lot of different people that she doesn't know, and then never see me again for a couple of weeks. So I'm sure she wouldn't have the foggiest. And I feel like I'm just blathering on about things, so I'm sorry if I'm boring you. And then I know, Lydia, you're going to tell me off, but please don't. It's okay. It slipped out. Honest. Honest, it was just a slip. Yeah, I'm just really actually quite happy at the moment. Beautiful Lydia and I are working on something. We're planning an event for our local area. So if you're in North Canterbury, or even in New Zealand, and you want to travel, or just happen to be in the area at the time, we haven't got a date yet, but we think it will be April. We're planning a little one-day craft retreat, because we love to get together and be creative, and I think most creative people do, just like a chance to get out, meet people who love doing what they do, whether it's journal making, or whether it's card making, or scrapbooking, or I don't know, whatever paper craft you're into, origami. If you're an origami artist, you know, it's just nice to hang out, and then we can inspire each other, chat, just really enjoy the company. Right, how are we going time-wise? Okay, that's taken me quite a while, I must admit, just collaging up 2 pages, because I've been chatting the entire time, haven't I? I do need a sip of my tea. Yes, my throat's getting dry. So let's look at getting these ready to make tags, and let's make some tags, and the rest I can do off camera. Like, you don't need to see it all, I am sure. So my ruler, I need my ruler. Rachel was making skinny tags, and I think from this page I can get 2 tall skinny tags, skinny-ish, and I'm not worried about whether they're the same size or not. Width-wise, I just want to make sure I cut them straight. So just gonna cut that into 2, and then this one, I'm thinking I will take a segment off the bottom and turn that into a tag, and then split the rest into, so this one will be, no, I can still make it skinny. I could actually make it all into tags this way, couldn't I? Do we want to do that? Or maybe do a couple? Yeah, let's do a couple this way, like so. And then do we want to turn this into, they're going to end up, no, they're going to be shorter. Okay, so let's turn this into about 3. So we're going to end up with lots of different sized tags, which I think is wonderful, because you always need different sizes for different sizes of pockets and tucks. So let's do that. Right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tags just from that quick, well, 20-minute-ish collaging. But it's a process really that does yield good results in a relatively short amount of time. Now from here, Rachel did stamping, and I want to do the same thing. She was doing purely botanicals, I'm not going to. I will do some botanicals. I worked out that I don't have a lot of large stamps, botanical stamps, so I'm just going to mix it up a bit. And it's good to see different things. If you're following Rachel's challenge and seeing her videos, then it's good to see a different take. So what colour? I think I might try sepia. This is a little Ranger archival ink, just a mini pad. And I should have grabbed out a wet wipe actually. I might have enough moisture on the one that I clean my scissors with maybe. So I'm just trying to make sure I get it well covered in ink because it's a very warm day here, so it's going to dry quickly as well. And plonk it down. I am just going to grab out a fresh baby wipe because I don't really want glue residue on my stamps, and my fingers are gluey as well. Right, so that's had a good, okay, didn't stamp that well, but that's okay. It's still another layer. It's not exactly a focal image because it didn't stamp that well. I didn't pay enough attention really. That's okay, we can still rescue it, we can still use it. Okay, what else might we want? I've got this dream catcher here, which is quite cool. Let's see if we use this, what this will look like. I have a feeling this one's losing its ability to stick to a block, but we'll give it a go. Some of these cheaper stamps sort of after a while just don't want to hold on to a block, an acrylic block. I might go up the top with that one, and I think I might use a colour. So let's use red. Or at least on this I can see that it's the colour is certainly going on to the clear stamp. Just bring it down a bit because we want to do our tag top, so don't want it too far up. Just give it a moment for the ink to settle into the paper. Oh, I like that. That worked really well. That'd suit a boho sort of style journal, something like that. Okay, and I'm just going to swap around stamps, I think. I thought this could be fun, a cupcake. Like, I don't know where I'll use it in a journal, but if I do a food one or a fairy one or a, I don't know, a girly one, I'm sure we can always find a place for a cupcake. Now it's probably, is it too small? It's probably a bit small for the long tags. So let's try it there, and I'm really just playing. Let's play with inks. Let's go orange for our cupcake. You know, you have all these different coloured inks. It's nice to give them a workout every now and then and have a play. So let's go about there. Cool. There's a fairy there, but I don't think I'll go fairy. There's some really cute animal ones here, but is it going to fit on my block? That's the question. This is a magazine set, came with a magazine. Doesn't say what magazine. So let's see if this will fit on our block. Ooh, if I can get it off the acetate. There we go. It's pretty close. We just miss a little bit of the leaves at the bottom, which I am not worried about. We don't get all the leaves. So I think actually I'm going to use my stamping platform. Not so much because I'm worried about missing the sides where the grass is, but that I would really like a nice impression. So have I got the right side? I have a feeling I need to turn it over. Normally it's on the correct side, but yeah, I must have used it with a thicker stamp last time I used it. And I haven't used it for ages because I didn't know where it was. But it resurfaced again just a couple of weeks ago. And so this way, if it doesn't stamp properly, I can give it another go. So I want you about there. So if you haven't seen a stamping platform in action, this is a Tim Holtz one. Hold your piece of paper in with the magnets, place where you want your stamp with the back of it up, and then push it down and it will stick to your lid here. And then you open it back up, give it the ink. I'm going to go back to the sepia, ink it all up. And then close it down onto your piece of paper. I like to give it a bit of a press. I don't know the correct technique. I've never actually investigated that. I just kind of make it up as I go along, but this is how I do it. And then open it up, and if it hasn't stamped properly, which I can see there's a few areas that haven't, then you ink it up again and go again, and you'll get a perfect alignment. As long as you don't sort of move the paper or anything, or the stamp, you'll get a perfect alignment and a chance to get those bits that got missed the first time, or the second time, or the third time. You can go as many times as you wish. And it also is really good if you want to layer stamps with different colors, or you know those stamps you get where it has the background layer, then the detail layer, then the highlight layer. Really good for those types of stamps. In fact, I think I've got a set out here somewhere of that type of stamp. Yep, that's better. There we go. So our bunny is, oh, it's so cute. I don't know if you can see it. It's so adorable. Gorgeous. Right. So, very, very handy, these platforms. And when you've got stamps that don't fit on an acrylic block, then they're just brilliant. Right. Okay, so put that back and let's choose something else for the next one. So we need 3 more. I really want to do one of these. These are houses. Not a stamp set I've used. I think I've only used it once. I made a card once with it, with one of the houses, and I haven't used it since. So let's, yeah, how about we put it on straight rather than have a wonky house. Yeah, it looks a bit better. It's still wonky, but I think it's designed to be wonky, but not as wonky as what I had it. Funny. Hey, let's do blue, just because. It's got a tree on the side of the house. Oh dear, and that didn't stamp very well at all. Okay, we'll give it another go. It could completely go to custard, and this is where if I'd used the stamping platform, it wouldn't be an issue. I could just go again and again and again. But now I'm left with trying to match it up, and I know I'm not going to match it perfectly. It's going to have a double line. And if this doesn't work, if it's like absolutely horrendous, which I suspect it's going to be, so I'm just carefully picking it up and pressing it into the back of the stamp. I suspect it's going to look awful. Then I will just collage over top of it another time, like after the video or something. I'll just collage over the top and go again. It's actually not horrible. It is double lined, but I can actually live with that. I think, what do you think? Let me know in the comments whether you think that is actually okay. I think it's okay. So I'm going to go with that. It just kind of makes it more thicker stamp, I guess. And a little bit less detailed, perhaps, than what it was. But I can actually live with that. What else do we want here? Got this little dandelion. Do we want to put this little dandelion on this one? I think it's a dandelion. It might not be. Something with a, you know, the seed head type thing. I don't think it is a dandelion, but it could be an agapanthus flower or something like that. Either way, it's still pretty cool. And I think it will be a fine size for this little tag. So I'm going to go dark green with this one. So I'm really playing with the colours, aren't I? Giving them all the whirl today. And I might just put it slightly to the on an angle, which just gave me another idea. I might stamp it multiple times, do a little arrangement, which is something you can do if you don't have a big enough stamp. Then just keep stamping and arranging them in a pattern so that it looks bigger. It takes up more room. There, and we need a third. You know we need a third. Aesthetically pleasing that odd numbers are. And maybe there. Yep. So there we've got a little cluster of this, whatever seed head it is. Oh, I think I need another sip of my tea. Excuse me. Ah, that's better. I do believe I forgot to put a sweetener in my cup of tea. Either that or I didn't stir it properly. It's not tasting sweet, and I just like a hint of sweetness, and I'm not detecting any. Right, are they... Let's give it a go. I think they're a little bit on the small side, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Which one would I like? Kind of like this one, I think. Acrylic block. And what colour? Actually, this is one I like to colour in with watercolours. So I'm actually going to stamp it in black, and then I think I will colour it either with Inktense pencils or watercolours or even felt tip pens, markers, something. I think I will colour it, because it's a really nice one when it's coloured in. want to do? No, I don't think I want to risk doing more of it. So it definitely needs more on that, absolutely. But I think I'm going to leave that it's stamping as that. Okay, let's get rid of these inks out of the way. Just chuck them in the drawer and I'll tidy them up afterwards. Okay, let's grab these back then, see what we've got. Is that them all? Right. So we've got our one here where I didn't stamp it properly. Totally my fault. Let's start looking at some labels. And maybe some words. So let's go for labels, because I think a label across there would be quite nice. Actually, we probably need to do our tag shape so we know what space we're working with. Right, so we want something that's going to cover that up. And I think sticking fairly neutral. No, too big. Okay, it's not going to be that. That fits. Let's go with that one. So that's a label from 9 of Crones on Etsy. Oops. I think I'm not feeling quite so rushed. I hope that's translating to you guys watching, that it doesn't feel quite so rushed anymore. Okay. Feel like I need something down here, so a number. And I preferably like a round number, I think. Something like that. Oops. Okay, obviously I'm taking it down to one circle around the outside because I just am completely cutting on the outside circle line. That's okay. Sometimes I do it deliberately if I want it slightly smaller. I didn't do it deliberately that time. And let's just give it a little ink around the edges, because there is a little bit of black here and there where I didn't cut very well. Okay, wee number down there, and some sort of topper. So I won't punch a hole or anything until I've backed it. So we'll leave it. Oops, that's not very straight. Goodness gracious, girl. Oh well, it's stuck there now. And of course, ink around the edges. Give it that finished look. I've left that edge rough where I tore it out of the book. That's all good. It's fairly straight. It's just a bit rough, and that's fine. So apart from a little topper, which I'll do after I've backed it, there's our first one. Done. Okay, this one I am going to trim it down at the bottom a little bit. So again, where's this one? I think I'll make the top not quite so deep on the corners, a little bit shallower. Right, while I'm thinking what I want to put on it, I'll give it some ink around the edge And again, I will do the toppers once I've backed them all. If I do the toppers now, it just makes the backing a little bit more difficult. Right, so maybe a label down here. So again, I think something fairly neutral. That's too big. This one. No, too big. It's the right width, but it's too deep. So let's see what else. The butterfly one, or a texty one. There, I actually quite like that one. And these labels are from Shabby Cottage Studio. I just love labels, and I love having a huge selection. There we go. And I'm thinking something here. What else was in that stamp set? Sorry, reaching over. I'm just looking for that stamp set again. Thinking. I've got little clouds. Dream big. Oh, there's a star missing. The star would have actually been quite good, I think, but it's run away. That's a shame. Yep, I'm going to stamp that down there. So Dream Big, and I think black, because this black border on here, I think it will stand out better. So hopefully this stamp's okay, because if it doesn't, I don't really have much option apart from collaging over top of it. Yep, that's alright. Turned out alright. Phew. Okay, so there we go. I think that one, all it needs now is a topper or a hole and some yarn or something. Cool. So, rocking through these. So let's give this our house one. Yeah, let me know what you think about the house, whether you would have started again or thrown it out or gone with it. I'm going with it. That's my choice. Right. Some ink. Go. And something up here. Got these apothecary labels, but I think they're all a bit big. Yep, and also wrong colour. So won't use one of those. Let's have a look here, see if there's something that might, and I'm thinking something in the blue. Maybe a 9 of Crones label again. Let's buy a blue one down here. I can get to it. Balm. Do I want it to say balm? It's a different blue. Or we could go with this one. It's sort of a item number, whatever that number is. 1,982,000 maybe? Don't know, not going to work it out. How do I feel? Don't think balm is the right one. Could go grey. Yeah, I like that better. I like the grey better. So let's go with that, but I feel like I need to layer it up with something. So maybe a stamp. Ooh, big packet, but I'm not sure what's in that packet, so I will dig through here. Don't want anything too big. Is that too big? I kind of like it. I'm going to go with it. And I'm busy crowding out my space with all these containers of bits and pieces. So I'm covering up the top of the house, the stamp, and I'm okay with that. And this is where if I'd done a hole or something before I decorated, then I would have problems of where to put the decorations, being limited. Right, and then pop that, just so the New Zealand on the stamp shows. Cool, that one's done. Right, I'm just going to get these out of my way. I don't know if I'll need them again, just because I feel like I'm crowded. Okay, so how are we going for time? Okay, we're going to have to wrap this up. Maybe we'll do this, the one last small one, or maybe we'll do a bigger one. Do this bunny one. Because we're running out of time, so let's make this the last one I'll do on camera. Okay, an apothecary label on this one might be okay. Or maybe not. I'm actually feeling like I need to stamp this on a plain bit of paper and then collage it on top, because I feel like it's not standing out enough. So I think I'm going to put that one aside, and I will do that because, yeah, I feel Bunny is just getting lost, and he's so cute, or she, probably a she, because it's hugging a baby bunny. Because I feel like it needs to shine, and it's not really shining at the moment. It's getting lost. So, you know, if it's not working for you, don't feel like you've got to stick with it. Just reinvent it, whether that's a complete reinvention or whether it's just what I'm going to do is stamp it again and fussy tear around it and then glue it on top. So this is the one that I was going to colour. Okay, I think maybe we'll call it a day, because it will take too long if I try and colour that. And then we've done the smaller ones, we've done plenty of those for you to get the idea. So this video is kind of ending itself, really, isn't it? A natural progression. So these ones are finished apart from a topper, and I'm really happy with them. I think they're lots of fun. So go ahead and I will finish these ones and work on them, and as usual there'll be an image on Instagram on the day the video airs. I'll have these all for you to see in their completed form, and also in the Facebook group Visual Vibes, so you can always pop along there and see how they all turned out. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're enjoying Roxy's weekly challenge, whether you're participating or not. It's a lot of fun. I think you should jump on in. So until the next video, take care everybody, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.